And you always knew the bad news was coming with Todd, because he'd go, here's the thing. And he said, we're going to lose the orchestra in Dresden, and we have to do all of the conducting first. I do think there's a distinct lack of shame in society, and I think shame is very different to guilt. Guilt is...
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' alleged pattern of bullying colleagues in Hollywood didn't start and likely won't end with the Justin Baldoni situation. Now, Cate Blanchett has broken her silence in a scorching new interview that's turning heads across the industry. When someone as respected and reserved as Blanchett speaks out, it signals that the issue may be far more serious than anyone expected. According to the claims, Blake didn't just attempt to overshadow Cate's legacy, she allegedly took credit for it and dismissed Cate when confronted. Staying true to her composed nature, Cate didn't create a public spectacle. Instead, she responded with a calm, calculated move, now being hailed as poetic justice. As a result, it appears Cate may finally be the one to bring long-running allegations against Blake and Ryan into the spotlight and hold them accountable once and for all.
So it's sometimes good to be really simple. I mean, Matisse says this fantastic thing. It's just, don't try and be original. Just be.
Anyone familiar with Cate Blanchett knows that her relationship with Chanel has always felt like a perfect match. For more than a decade, she has been the face of the brand, and the partnership has thrived. Cate isn't just a Hollywood actress, she embodies elegance, legacy, and timeless sophistication, qualities that align seamlessly with Chanel's identity. Over the years, she has been a fixture at the brand's private fittings and couture shows, and in 2021, she signed a multi-season contract to lead Chanel's Women in Cinema campaign. As part of that collaboration, Chanel commissioned a legacy short film written by Cate's husband, Andrew Upton, a minimalist black and white piece featuring two women, no dialogue, and storytelling driven purely by expression and movement. With contract signed and the film fully approved, everything appeared perfectly in place. But when the moment arrived for Cate to step into the spotlight, Blake Lively appeared instead, a move that wasn't a simple mix-up, but a startling replacement that left many questioning what truly happened behind the scenes.
Lively is out and about in the UK promoting her One Simple Favor, right? Is that the name? Yep, she's out. She's wearing this Chanel head-to-toe V. Here's the look.
Fans were left completely baffled. Why was Blake there? What happened to Cate? And did the deal fall apart? As it turned out, there was no fallout between Cate Blanchett and Chanel. No disagreement and no behind-the-scenes drama. Instead, Blake Lively's sudden emergence as the new face of the campaign was reportedly the result of calculated sabotage. Sources claim someone from Chanel contacted Cate's team to say the campaign's direction had shifted, industry shorthand for being quietly removed. The news blindsided Cate, especially since there had been no conflict or warning signs. Everything became clearer when Blake was officially unveiled as the replacement. To make matters worse, Chanel allegedly didn't even abandon the original concept built around Cate. Instead, they kept the same structure, added a layer of sparkle, inserted a few feel-good quotes, finished it off with red lipstick, and presented it as something new.
They're so look at these, they match my outfit. Look at those nails.
Wow.
Aren't they incredible?
Those are amazing.
I had time for that. I literally did it while it worked. It was a little chaotic.
Even the backstage crew working on the campaign were reportedly stunned when news broke that Cate Blanchett had been replaced. One stylist is said to have leaked text messages revealing that Blake Lively was never part of the original plan, but that her team later pitched Chanel a lucrative cross-platform deal the brand couldn't refuse. Still, removing Cate so abruptly was a bold move, perhaps too bold, and it was only the beginning. After securing the campaign, Blake and her team allegedly began a broader strategy to subtly reposition Cate as outdated while presenting Blake as the fresh, modern face stepping in to revitalize Chanel. In March 2023, Chanel hosted a private, high-profile dinner in Paris, attended by a carefully curated group of legacy actresses, directors, creatives, and brand partners. Cate had RSVP'd months earlier and was scheduled to premiere a short film written by her husband, Andrew Upton, during the evening. Yet just 2 weeks before the event, Chanel announced that Blake Lively would be honored that night as the face of its new campaign. Cate's film was quietly scrapped and replaced with Blake's themed cross-platform storytelling centered on beauty, film, and wellness. Surprisingly, Cate did not cancel. She attended the dinner with her head held high, setting the stage for what would follow next. Things continued smoothly until Blake subtly shifted the tone of the night. According to an insider, while seated at another table with a senior Chanel creative, Blake was overheard saying, "I just feel like I could bring something fresh to it. The script was beautiful, but a bit outdated, right?" The creative reportedly laughed and replied, "You mean Andrew's script? I didn't even realize he wrote it at first. Legacy doesn't really sell to Gen Z, unfortunately." Cate Blanchett, seated only a few feet away, overheard the exchange in full. She didn't confront anyone, but insiders say her expression visibly changed, and she appeared quietly heartbroken for the remainder of the evening. Then came another twist. In April 2023, the first wave of Blake's Chanel Netflix crossover campaign launched, but a major PR oversight exposed everything when Chanel failed to cancel a feature article approved back when Cate was still the face of the campaign. Published in a British fashion magazine on April 16th, the piece referenced Andrew Upton's short film and Cate's creative involvement, remaining live for just 3 hours before being pulled, though not before screenshots spread online. Social media erupted, with fans accusing Blake of erasing Cate's work and taking credit for the campaign. While Cate never publicly addressed the controversy, weeks later she accepted a quiet humanitarian award in Berlin, where a recorded acceptance speech, later removed, featured a line that echoed across the internet. "There's a difference between honoring a story and owning it like it was always yours. One builds legacy, the other builds ego." A remark widely interpreted as a veiled but pointed response. Meanwhile, Blake's situation worsened as her aggressively defensive PR strategy reportedly underestimated the fierce loyalty of Cate's fanbase. What was meant to be a sophisticated rebrand quickly unraveled, including the sudden cancellation of a YouTube fashion talk show appearance, officially due to scheduling issues, though insiders claimed the host had prepared a pointed question about the Cate Blanchett controversy. By then, Blake's carefully curated image was under relentless scrutiny, with media outlets and fans alike casting her as the villain of the story. Cate, however, neither retaliated nor played the victim. She simply moved forward with grace and professionalism, continuing her work with quiet strength and reminding everyone why she remains an enduring icon, admired not just for her talent, but for the integrity she carries into every room, even the ones where she was sidelined.
And the more I do, in a way, I think the less I know. And I've had a very eclectic and strange career that has taken me many places. But perhaps if there's any connective tissue in my career, it's the desire to know. It's the quest to unlock what it means to be human, that strange nub of fearful, joyful uncertainty that it is to be a human being. And to live a creative life, it's fueled with uncertainty and doubt. It's the DNA of how you begin any project. You have to humble yourself and say, I don't know.
In June 2023, Cate Blanchett and her husband Andrew Upton quietly premiered a 2-person play at the Sydney Theatre Company. Written entirely by Andrew and directed by Cate, the production was never intended as a flashy comeback after the Chanel fallout. There was no major PR push, no red carpet, just an intimate staging attended primarily by theater devotees and film enthusiasts. Notably, the play's original title was reportedly Lines That Weren't Meant to Be Read, but it was later changed to The Credit, a shift many interpreted as a subtle yet deliberate nod to the controversy. To some, the new title felt like a quiet but pointed message aimed at Blake Lively, who was accused of taking credit for Cate's work and pushing her aside professionally, whether intentionally or not. True to form, Cate didn't need a media spectacle to make her point. The work spoke for itself.
Well, I always approach every role as a woman because I am. I don't really think about that. I do think there's a distinct lack of shame in society at the moment. I think shame is very different to guilt. Guilt is a very useless emotion. I don't know what you do with that. But shame and regret and the lessons one can learn from that are, I think, are very